It all began on that dark morning in 1906. At exactly 5:12 a.m., San Francisco was leveled by a violent earthquake. But the true story wasn't hidden in the ruins above ground. It was buried far beneath the surface. As cleanup crews prepared to rebuild the city from its ashes, they descended into the earth and encountered a sight no one expected. A massive network of mysterious tunnels that appeared in no modern historical record. According to claims from those on the scene, these structures were too perfect and too immense to have been built with the technology of that era. A single question echoed through the engineers' notes. Who actually put these here? Official reports quickly dismissed the find as old sewer lines or abandoned utility tunnels. However, alternative researchers claim these tunnels are the remnants of a much older, lost civilization. Now, it's time to look at the classified photographs and the deleted records buried in the archives of history. Get ready as we descend into the forbidden past of San Francisco, into the unknown. Rare, grainy photographs recovered from the cleanup efforts show workers standing like ants next to massive brick-lined passages. These tunnels were reportedly so wide and tall that 2 horse-drawn carriages could easily pass through them side by side. The most shocking detail is that there is no trace of such a massive infrastructure in San Francisco's official city plans from the early 1900s. Some claim that San Francisco wasn't built on a wild, empty landscape, but was instead constructed atop the half-buried infrastructure of an ancient, gargantuan city that had been consumed by a prior catastrophe. It is said that as the excavations went deeper, the architectural style and engineering techniques shifted entirely, revealing a level of mastery that contradicts our known history. The standard Victorian brickwork gave way to precision stonework, where blocks were fitted together with millimetric accuracy. Arches so flawless, they looked like products of high technology. Some independent researchers suggest this stonework belongs to a lost global empire, often referred to as Tartaria. If these claims are true, the 1906 earthquake was not just a disaster, but a moment when a hidden architectural legacy was accidentally forced into the light. The most bizarre and unexplained detail within these tunnels was that they were found completely packed with hardened, dense mud and sediment. To mudflood theorists, this is evidence of a global catastrophe that occurred in the mid-19th century, an event completely erased from our textbooks. This event allegedly triggered massive mud flows that buried the lower levels of cities in their tunnels like fossils. The dense layers of mud found inside these San Francisco passages are presented as smoking gun evidence for this theory. While official history brushes this off as simple soil shifts, the sheer volume of sediment remains a mystery. The claims aren't limited to the size of the tunnels alone. Some hidden diaries and deleted engineering notes mention metal rail systems embedded deep within the floors. Curiously, these rails do not match any official records of mines or factories in that area. They were reportedly laid out in a sophisticated, organized transit network connecting parts of the city underground. If a rail system existed before the official founding of San Francisco or the Gold Rush, it would completely rewrite the story of the Wild West. Could these rails be silent proof of an advanced technology that preceded us? Vast, circular shafts appearing in post-earthquake photos were labeled as old wells or ventilation holes in official records. Yet, the diameter and depth of these shafts show a perfect cylindrical structure that seems impossible to achieve with the primitive pick and shovel technology of the time. They look as if they were carved smoothly in a single pass by a massive machine or a high-energy tool. Some conspiracy theorists argue these weren't wells at all, but vital components of an ancient atmospheric energy system or a massive underground factory. These structures whisper of a different understanding of physics. By 1907, the tone of official reports regarding the tunnels changed suddenly and suspiciously. Engineers who initially spoke of exciting discoveries and unknown ancient corridors fell silent. These structures were suddenly relabeled as dangerous and useless voids. It is claimed that the most intact and magnificent sections were hastily sealed with tons of concrete and earthquake debris before the public or independent scientists could examine them. This has led to growing suspicions of a massive cover-up intended to protect the narrative of linear human progress from the reality of a superior past. Many researchers argue that San Francisco's most iconic, grand buildings are actually architectural masks built atop these ancient foundations. Today, if you walk the streets of San Francisco, you can see many buildings where the windows are partially buried below street level. Theorists claim these buildings were originally much taller, and their ground floors are actually upper stories that survived a great mudflood. The tunnels beneath them were once the arteries of a massive complex that was simply rediscovered, cleaned out, and repurposed by the modern settlers. Another mysterious point is the perfect alignment of this tunnel network with the city above. It remains an unanswered question how surface structures, allegedly built by different architects across different decades, align so mathematically with these ancient underground corridors. It is claimed that the planners of San Francisco didn't create their own layout, but were forced to follow a pre-existing invisible geometric grid already built into the earth. This is one of the most concrete claims, suggesting that history is not a series of accidents, but arise from the ruins of a universal engineering plan. It is frequently alleged that many original excavation notes and photographic records were destroyed in suspicious fires within city archives. The few grainy black and white photos we have today may be the lucky survivors of a massive effort to hide the truth. When we look at how small and bewildered the workers appear under those massive, high-ceilinged brick arches, it is hard to accept the official explanation that these were just simple sewer pipes. Perhaps these photos are the clearest evidence that the history we were taught is fundamentally wrong. Those who believe in the Mudflood and Tartaria theories suggest the 1906 earthquake was used as a convenient reset by the elite. As the city lay in ruins, the most inexplicable ancient infrastructures were hidden behind modern facades, while the rest were abandoned to the debris and mud. In this way, a new story was written for future generations, a story of an American dream rising from a blank slate. But the cold stones beneath the ground still tell the story of the true owners, and a history that was never meant to be forgotten. There are also claims of strange symbols found on the deep tunnel walls that do not belong to any known ancient language or local culture. Some witnesses allege these symbols weren't carved into the stone, but were fused into the molecular structure of the rock itself, as if by laser technology. It is speculated that these marks were part of a technological frequency or an energy transfer system used by the original builders. Unfortunately, access to these areas is now impossible. Most are eternally sealed, filled with concrete or hidden beneath massive financial skyscrapers. According to stories passed down by old city workers and secret family legends, this tunnel network isn't limited to downtown San Francisco. This grid reportedly extends deep beneath the bay, connecting to other coastal regions in a massive, inter-regional system. If these claims hold any truth, it means we are living in the attic of a worldwide, interconnected underground civilization. Why was such a vital discovery hushed up so quickly and buried once again? Even today, in the oldest districts of San Francisco, rumors circulate about construction workers hitting vast, pitch-black voids behind basement walls. These forbidden zones are reportedly sealed off immediately under the guise of safety concerns or private property. Could that magnificent past, squeezed between the pages of suppressed history, still be haunting the earth beneath our feet, waiting to be rediscovered? In the end, the 1906 San Francisco tunnels are more than just an infrastructure mystery. They are silent witnesses to an untold human history. Of course, most of this remains a collection of claims and theories. However, the images and unexplained architectural details coming from the depths leave us with one haunting question. Do we really know everything? Perhaps the world is much older than we think, and we are just actors playing our parts on a stage built upon the ashes of a lost civilization. The next time you walk the streets of a major city, think about what might be buried just a few meters beneath your feet. The truth is out there, waiting. Thanks for watching, and stay curious.